Let's go.
I was just wondering the other day, if I sit and count the number of cups of chai I've had over all these years, it would take forever, and maybe that number would not even fit on a calculator. Like, what do you guys think about it? What's your score of chai? My score is infinite because chai is love, my friends. Chai is love. Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. Xiaomi recently announced the Mi 10i over here in India, and there had been some issues with the I of the phone. It was not capital apparently, and the phone is not worth buying. I don't know why Xiaomi did that, man. Come on guys, you should have given the capital I. Now I hope you get the sarcasm in this statement. Please don't come at me, it's just a sarcastic comment. Anyway, moving past from that, I have been using the Mi 10i as my daily phone for the past week, and it has been an incredible experience. This phone is one of the best out there in its price segment for shooting photos. I have clicked a lot of photos with the Mi 10i, and this is my full camera review of this phone. Sit back, relax, and have a cup of chai. Alright, right off the bat, let's talk about the camera hardware on this phone. So on the rear side, there's a quad camera setup. The primary one is a 108 megapixel sensor with an aperture of f1.75. Yes, 108 megapixel. Apart from that, there's an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera which comes with a field of view of 120 degrees. The remaining two cameras are literally useless. There's a 2 megapixel macro camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. On the front side of things, there's a 16 megapixel camera. Now you might be wondering, is 108 megapixel really necessary? Like, do we need so many megapixels in a camera? Well, the answer to that is a little complicated. Xiaomi is using the 108 megapixel sensor, but they are giving you a 12 megapixel image. So they are using this technology called as pixel binning, wherein they combine 9 pixels into one and then give you an image. So basically 108 divided by 9 equals 12, and that's why you're getting a 12 megapixel image. Now pixel binning helps to some extent, but even after that, having good software optimization is very important, and here's where Xiaomi has done a great job with the Mi 10i. Let's start this conversation by talking about daylight photos. When it comes to daylighting conditions, this camera shines. It clicks some awesome photos in terms of dynamic range, detail level, colors, and also the saturation level. The photos turn out to be very pleasing to the eye, and that's what matters. The photos look good throughout. I was particularly impressed by the dynamic range. It is able to capture some really good photos in difficult conditions as well. For example, if you're shooting against direct sunlight, no problem, the dynamic range is impressive there as well. Now, because of the 108 megapixel sensor, you can crop into the frame while editing the photos, and it's a great experience. You do not lose a lot of details, and that is very good. Also, Xiaomi has used this camera to its full potential by giving you options up to 10x zoom. Now, this is a digital zoom and not an optical zoom, but it is good to see that Xiaomi is using all those megapixels and giving you zooming options. So essentially, you can zoom up to 10x and click photos with this phone. You can also find the option of shooting in RAW with the Mi 10i. Shooting in RAW is very helpful if you want to edit the photos later on. So if you want to manipulate color and exposure later on, and if you want to put your style into the photos, then I would highly recommend you to shoot in RAW, and the RAW does turn out to be really good. You can edit the RAW photos on the phone itself using Snapseed, and that is very handy. Alright, this gets me to the ultra wide angle camera. The ultra wide angle camera is just an 8 megapixel sensor, and on paper it feels like it's a very normal camera, but that's not the case. The ultra wide angle pictures do turn out to be really good because of the software optimization. So Xiaomi has done a good job over here as well, and you can click some really good ultra wide angle photos using this camera. Now, one thing that I liked over here is the consistency of colors between the main and the ultra wide angle camera. It's not like the ultra wide angle camera is shooting something completely different. The colors are consistent to a certain level. All in all, in terms of daylighting conditions, the main as well as the ultra wide angle camera perform really good. The next point that comes in is portrait mode. Now, portrait mode is a hit or a miss on this phone. I don't know why, but the background blur is a little too subtle. I would have liked it to be a little more aggressive, not to the point where it is unnatural, but to the point where it actually looks like a portrait mode photo. Right now it does not look like a portrait mode photo, and that's where I'm concerned. So it's a little too soft, and maybe Xiaomi can improve that via a software update. But anyway, apart from the background blur, the edge detection is very good. Like 8 out of 10 times it won't miss the edges, and that is excellent for portrait mode. Next up, let's talk about artificial and low lighting conditions. First up is the main 108 megapixel camera. The main camera does a very good job in artificial as well as low lighting conditions. The images are detailed with decent enough dynamic range and great colors. So colors is a point which is very important over here. They are not too oversaturated and not too undersaturated as well. The image looks very pleasing to the eye. So colors are on point. Now there is a dedicated night mode for extreme low light scenarios, and it works well 7 out of 10 times. So it's not the most consistent out there, and it's not the most reliable out there as well. Like sometimes you'll get a great photo, but sometimes you'll get an overexposed photo which you cannot use. So night mode needs some improvement, and if someone from Xiaomi is watching this, please push out a software update where you improve the night mode, especially for the main camera. Now when it comes to ultra wide angle camera, it also has night mode, and that is excellent. So Xiaomi has finally listened, and they have given night mode for the ultra wide angle camera as well. The night mode for the ultra wide angle camera works really well. It's not too extreme, not too subtle as well, just the right amount, and you can shoot some really good ultra wide angle photos in low lighting conditions as well. This gets me to video shooting, and here's where I was disappointed. So this phone can shoot up to 4K at 30 FPS, and there's no support for 4K 60. I can let that slide because of the price point, but there is no EIS at 4K 30 and 1080p 60. Now this is a point which I cannot let go. Normally when I'm shooting from a smartphone, I shoot at 1080p 60, and I need that stabilization at 1080p 60. That's not available, and that's kind of an issue. So please Xiaomi, push out an update where you enable EIS for 1080p 60. That is very important. Anyway, apart from that, stabilization is available for 1080p 30, and it works really well. You can shoot stable videos while you're walking or running, or even while you're in the car. What about video quality? Video quality is okayish. It's not the best out there, but it is not the worst either. All in all, in terms of video shooting, it needs some improvement. Next up are them selfies. Selfie camera on this phone is really good. There's a good amount of detail, the dynamic range is impressive, and the skin tones are natural as well. Selfie camera also has the night mode, so when you're in low lighting conditions, you can shoot good photos with the selfie camera as well. All in all, selfies turn out to be really good with the Mi 10i, and no complaints over here. Alright, this is a very quick front camera video test with the Mi 10i. You guys let me know about the video quality as well as the audio quality from this phone in the comment section down below. Is it good, bad, whatever it is, let me know about that in the comments down below. Overall, I am impressed with the Mi 10i's camera performance. It is capable of shooting some really good photos. I cannot say the same about videos, but for photos, it did impress me. And if you're looking for a phone which is camera centric, then you should definitely consider the Mi 10i. It won't disappoint you. So anyway, this was my camera review of the Mi 10i. Do let me know how you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.